Gabe Jenkins back with you, accelerating your future here at the CCA, the College and Career Accelerator. I want to talk to you today about maybe the second most foundational thing we're going to learn about in SolidWorks. On our last video, we learned how to take a two-dimensional sketch, two-dimensional profile, and turn it from a 2D sketch into a 3D feature. That's like a part, it's a component of a part that we're making in SolidWorks. And it's kind of the most foundational thing you can really do. You take a two-dimensional thing and make it 3D. What we're going to talk about today is kind of the opposite of that. How do you cut away part of a three-dimensional material that you've already extruded? Like you already made it into a 3D. How do you take material away? And what you're going to find when you make things in SolidWorks is that creating a complex shape is very often the result of an iterative process, meaning you're going back to it again and again and again, and you're adding things here and taking them away there, adding a part here, filleting it, and taking away something else from the chamfering an edge. You're just creating something complex by adding and subtracting again and again and again. And so each time you add or subtract something, you're adding a new feature to the shape you're creating. And so I'm going to show you how to cut away, to extrude cut a part or a section of a material you've already made away. I'm going to show you how to do that, and this is going to be helpful when you do assignment number 2. In assignment number 2, you're going to see it's got 2 holes that go all the way through this shape. It looks like a little, I don't know what that is, it's a little shape. It's got these 2 holes that go all the way through the material, and then up here it's got a circle that's been cut away. I'm not going to recreate this shape for you. I'm going to let you figure out some of that on your own, because you should be at the point where you're used to reading kind of technical drawings. You should be able to create it. I'm just going to focus on how do you create extruded cuts. So I'm going to go over here into SolidWorks, and I'm going to make a really basic shape, right? I'm going to pick top plane, make a new sketch. I'm going to skip over like a lot of the stuff that that you should know how to do from our first video. So I'll make that. Cool. I'm going to dimension it. Make this. Let's say I make that. Let's say I make it 10 unit or 15 units wide. Now I could, just to be clear, I could dimension this other side as well. I could say I want that to be whatever it is. Just want to show you this real quick. If I click on this one line and I look over here, it lets me say, are there any kind of constraints? Are there any things that I want to be true about this shape? Like, do I want to make sure it's always horizontal, always vertical? Do I want to fix it in that exact spot? Cool. I can do the same thing if I click on another element, right? But if I want to establish a relationship between 2 elements, I'm going to click on that first line. I'm going to hold down the control button, which I'm doing right now, and I'm going to click on a second thing. As soon as I click on that second thing, it says, okay, oh, is there some relationship between these 2 elements that you want to make, kind of explicit? So say I just said I want them to be equal length. I no longer have to dimension this. I've already dimensioned it here. It's already 15. And because I said I want this one and this one to be equal, and you can see they're highlighted with another little constraint relationship box here, I've made it so that this is 15 and that's 15 and that's cool, right? All right. So say I want to make something like this, right? So say I want to just I want to make a circle. I want to make a cutout circle, right? Make a circle. Awesome. Oh, you don't want to. Okay, so if I'm still in the same sketch, if I make a circle here, let's just say I dimension it and make it, I don't know, 5. Cool. It's still blue. Why is it blue? Because SolidWorks, even though it knows it's 5, it doesn't know where the center point is. So I can just dimension what's the distance from here to here. Let's make that 3. And what's the distance from here to here? Why is it not letting me do it? There we go. Click, click, there we go. Let's just say that I want that to be 5 as well. All right. So now it knows everything about that circle, and it's fully defined. Everything is dark lines, black lines, so it's cool to go. So now say I wanted to extrude this now. SolidWorks is pretty smart. It's like, well, there's a reason why you drew that circle there, right? If I extrude it and say I want to extrude it 10, like that's the number that's in there already. Let's say it's 10, right? And I say I want to make it blind. I don't want to, it's just the first shape. So if I hit OK, you'll notice right away, if I kind of scroll around and look at this, it's only extruding kind of the basic, it's not extruding that circle that I cut out of it. So cool, that's one way to make a hole, is that you can draw a circle, a hole shape in your two-dimensional sketch, and when you extrude it, it's not going to extrude that part, right? But say I've already created this thing and I just want to cut out another circle, right? That's what we're really more or less talking about. Like I got a shape and I want to cut some part of it away. So something like this would be helpful for these initial holes, but you could also do it in a way I'm about to show you, which is also how you could do something like this, right? So I'm going to I already got my boss extrude. I'm going to make a new sketch on a face here. And let's just say I'll make a new circle. I'm going to make this one, let's just say it's 4 instead of 5. And I want it to be, let's just say I want it to be, let's move it a little closer. Let's move it 3 over and 5, right? Fully defined. Now let's just say I want to cut that part out now. I'm still in the sketch, which you can see because it's green or red. And now when I go over here to features, gives me this extra thing. I can cut out material. That's an option now because now I've got something to cut out of, right? And so if I click on extruded cut, cool. It's asking me, do I want to cut, right? It is, I don't know if it always does this or if it always just seems like it does it to me. It's going to assume that I want to cut exactly the length of the material. So like it's going to cut from here to here, which is 10 millimeters. That's the amount that I just extruded the thing. And so let's just say I hit blind. I want it to cut 10. There's again these other options of how you could define you could define how you want SolidWorks to think of this cut. Right now it's set at blind, which is fine. But it goes to something called design intent, right? So like if you're designing something and you're not exactly sure everything you need to know about the shape and you want to have yourself some flexibility, it's worth thinking about things as you create the complex shape because SolidWorks has the ability to automatically update, right? So say I hit blind, hit 10, hit OK. I now have a hole that goes all the way through. You can see it goes all the way through, right? Okay, great. Exactly. That's what I wanted. But now, what if I changed my mind and I said, well, I don't want the whole shape to be 10, I want it to be 15. Know that you can always go back into a feature and edit that feature. So if I click on here and go to edit feature, boom, and say I don't want it to be 10, I want it to be 20. Cool. SolidWorks is going to rebuild this shape for me, and it's going to do it. But now notice something. I said that I wanted the whole shape to be 20 now, but my cut, I said, is only going to go 10 deep. And so it's still stuck at 10, right? Now, if I go here to edit cut, edit this feature, and I say, okay, I just want it to go through everything, okay? That's how I want SolidWorks to think of this cut. I always want it to go through the whole shape. Great. Now if I go here, it cuts through the whole thing. Now, if I go here and if I edit my feature one more time and say I want it to be 30, cool. You'll notice that automatically SolidWorks understands that when I define how I want it to think of this cut, it wants it to cut through everything. And so it's going to update that cut so it goes through everything. All right? So extrude cuts, basically the steps are the same. You create a sketch on a face, you make the sketch, and you go to extruded cut, click on extruded cut, and then tell it how you want it to think, how far you want the cut to go, whether you want it to go through all or blind or however you want to define the cut. And then hit OK, and then it's done. So that's it. Extruded cuts. That's going to help you with this shape right here, these two holes, these two through holes right here. And it can also help you just cut a little bit into this feature here. You don't want to cut all the way through on this one. You're going to need to do a blind cut and tell it how deep to go, which you will find in the technical diagram, but you are comfortable reading at this point. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great day. I am having a fantastic day. I love SolidWorks, and I hope you are loving it as well. Talk to you later.